Hi, and welcome to our pre-recorded videos for our lower school back to school night. We hope that you will join us for our live event this Thursday, September 9th at 6 p.m. And that will be hosted by your child's homeroom teacher. They should have sent you the link already. And that is where you will receive more specific information to the primary experience that your child will have this school year. My presentation is more division specific for the lower school. And I want to start by being sure to shout out all of the faculty and staff in the lower school for a great start of the school year already. They worked so hard before students were on campus to prepare their learning environments, making sure they were warm and welcoming. We've assessed our curriculum to ensure that we're filling any gaps that may have occurred over the past year and a half through the pandemic. And I know that they have put in countless hours to make sure that your child has the best learning experience possible. So please join me in thanking them for the awesome work that they do. And how great has it been to see your children fill the halls of the lower school. It's hard to tell with their masks on, but I know they're smiling under there. They're smiling with their eyes, and I hear their giggles. And it's just so happy to be back together, collaborating, and enjoying each other's company, building those important relationships. So great start to the school year already. I am going to go over some COVID protocols that we have in place, our MVCS pledge, and the Lucas County Health Department nurse algorithm that will help you determine when your child can come to school, our communication plan for the year, our visitor policy, and a little bit about Forest School. You'll hear more from your child's homeroom teacher on Thursday. If you are new to Mommy Valley, I also wanted to start by explaining some acronyms that we have in the lower school. So the lower school is divided into 3 different areas. We have the primary, which is 1st and 2nd grade, the lower intermediate, which is called the LI, that's 3rd and 4th grade, and we have the upper intermediate, or the UI, and that's 5th and 6th grade. I oversee grades pre-K through 2nd grade, and Mr. Graham oversees grades 3 through 8. Now, in the middle of our lower school, there's a big open space. It looks kind of like a library. We call that our resource center. And we have a new media specialist, Emmy Green, who will be helping to facilitate children learning how to research, checking out books from the resource center, and providing some lessons for them. Also, we're excited to welcome back Paige Espiritu to her original role of our technology teacher. She was a remote learning teacher last year, and so now kids will be able to go back to her class this year, utilize our computer lab and those technology classes. All right, let's get started. Oh, the other acronym I was going to tell you about is ETC, and that stands for Extended Time Care, and that's our before and after school program. So if you hear ETC, it's Extended Time Care Program. Our COVID protocols are very similar to last year. We're utilizing masks indoors, and that's at all times unless they are eating or drinking. During those times when their masks are off for eating or drinking, they are trying to be distanced up to 6 feet apart. When the masks are on, we are aiming for 3 feet apart. And so you can see in Mrs. Prater's classroom, some kids are utilizing spaces on the carpet while others are sitting back at their desks. We have the plexiglass back again to allow for closer collaboration within 3 feet. We're also utilizing a lot of time outside that's not necessarily Forest School, just taking lessons right outside of the classroom. When students are outside, masks are optional. They are free to wear them if they would like to. If we are having an activity where we know they're going to be closer than 3 feet apart, we are asking them to mask. Otherwise, masks are optional outside. We are still utilizing visual dots on the floor to help students line up and have that visual cue of what 3 feet apart really means. It's very helpful with transitions. In addition to this, we have our frequent hand washing and hand sanitizing. We have a daytime cleaner who's coming through and wiping down high-touched areas. And the teachers are helping to wipe down the desks throughout the day. This is in our resource center here. We're utilizing individual desks and tables so that we can be distanced. our little computer lab for primary over here. We're utilizing that plexiglass that we talked about. And here is that Maumee Valley Country Day School commitment to our Maumee Valley community pledge. And this is really asking you to help partner with us in making sure that you're monitoring symptoms for your child at home each morning before school. So one COVID protocol that we did take away this year was the temperature checking at car line. We're asking you to do that at home and just be extra vigilant. Please don't send your child to school when they are unwell. I wanted to take a moment and show you how to find this pledge. So on our resource board, we have a COVID-19 resource board. You're going to go to our website, mvcds.org, and click MyMV up here in the right-hand corner. From there, you'll see all of our different resource boards. Here's the lower school resource board. This is the one you're going to want, MVCDS COVID-19. This is where you're going to see our information that's updated weekly. So our vaccination rate, the number of positive cases, students in quarantine, and students in isolation. Here is our COVID protocols for the 2021-22 school year, right up here on this yellow box to the left. And then that community pledge that I was just talking about is right here, Commitment to Maumee Valley Pledge. And this is the commitment we're asking you to make as parents to partner with us to keep our school community safe. Okay, so that's a little bit about the COVID-19 resource board and how to find it. This is the Lucas County Health Department school nurse algorithm for COVID-19 symptoms and exposures. I will also be posting this to Story Park, so it will be easy access for you, and we'll also put it on the resource board. But we have 3 different scenarios here. They're determined by if it's a low or high risk symptom, and you can read those here in this box. And then, if there was a confirmed exposure or not, then you would go to scenario 3, and then the amount of symptoms that you have for the middle box. One important thing to point out is in scenario 2, if you have 2 low risk symptoms or 1 high risk and no exposure, that your 2 choices to return to school are a COVID-19 test or an evaluation by a healthcare provider. The important thing to note about the doctor's note is it should attribute the symptoms to something other than COVID-19. So it needs to say more than just your child can return to school. It should say your child was seen at this doctor's office, the runny nose and sore throat were attributed to seasonal allergies, and your child may return to school on this date. So really kind of giving a diagnosis to those symptoms that your child is having. If you have any questions about can my child come or not come, you can email me or Nurse Sherry Watkins. She'll be doing a presentation as well with her contact information. And again, I'll put this all on Story Park for you. One thing that has remained the same from last year that we're hoping just to keep a primary tradition is that primary students are eating lunches in their classrooms. The way that we had the dining room hall scheduled previous to COVID did not allow for proper distancing. The recommendation is around 6 feet when students have their masks off in times like when they're eating. And it was such a success last school year of students eating in their classroom, cutting back on transitions, kind of the overwhelming amount of choices in the dining hall that children have. But there is one difference from last year. So last year, Chef Joe and Tabitha brought down the lunch train and kind of set up the cafeteria in the resource center. This year, they are staying in the dining hall, Chef Joe and Tabitha, but they are delivering boxed lunches to the primary students in their classrooms. And this is very similar to the way that lunch works in our early learning center if you have been here for this. So primary students have a choice. They have a specific menu. It's a pre-K through 2nd grade menu that I will push out on Story Park every month. It's also on our resource board. And they have a couple of choices for hot lunch. And then for cold lunch, they have like a cheese sandwich or a turkey sandwich if they don't like the hot lunch options. Right now, the cost is $4 per meal. And again, it's the teachers take the lunch count in the morning, and then the lunches and milks are delivered to the classroom. So easy peasy. An extra benefit of this is also portion control and really showcasing what a healthy, balanced lunch looks like to children, because we know that is something that primary students have struggled in the past when they do have access to the entire dining hall. They weren't always making the healthiest choices, even though it's one of the units they learn in primary that you will hear more about on the 9th. And so, yeah, we are really excited about this shift for primary to be eating in their classroom with boxed lunches. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me or Chef Joe or your child's homeroom teacher. The communication plan for the year. We are continuing with a weekly newsletter, but it has changed a little bit. So every Thursday, you'll receive a division-specific email. So for lower school, it will come from Mr. Graham and me every Thursday. We are also taking that information and putting it on our lower school resource board, which I'll point out in a minute. Then on Sunday, Dominic Adams, our communication specialist, is compiling all of the divisional newsletters and putting them in a weekly newsletter like you received last year. But this is going out on Sundays, not Fridays this year. And so every Sunday in your inbox, you'll have the upper school, middle school, lower school, and early learning center newsletters, links to those, plus athletics and admissions. Continuing this year as well, primary teachers are utilizing Google Classroom. This is more of just a resource for parents and students for some enrichment opportunities or different curriculum-related strategies and tools for you to use. In the event that we were mandated to go remote, which we're crossing our fingers we won't, we did not have to do that last year, we would likely utilize this Google Classroom for lesson plans and learning activities. So we do have an emergency backup plan that we're hoping we never have to use, but if we do, we would be utilizing Google Classroom. We're also continuing to use StoryPark as our digital learning portfolio. We've had a lot of great feedback about StoryPark, and it's something that we really value as a communication tool to help your child transfer their knowledge of what they're learning at school and communicating it at home. If you haven't yet already, I would highly recommend downloading the StoryPark app. It works very similar to social media like Facebook, where if a teacher uploads a learning story, you'll get an instant notification. Teachers do work really hard on documenting and telling these learning stories. So any kind of appreciation as far as liking the story, commenting, asking questions, being very interactive, I think goes a long way. So when you get that notification, our hope is that your child will come home after school and you'll have a little bit of time to reflect on the school day together. And you'll utilize these pictures and videos as a way to ask questions to your child about what they're learning at school. It's kind of a visual prompt to help them explain their thinking and their understandings. And then on the flip side, we also highly encourage you to make learning stories as well. So if you are doing something cool at home, a cool project, something in the kitchen, an arts or crafts, some kind of construction that you're working on, if you have family or friends visiting, if you go on vacation, if you have a special weekend trip, we would love for you to create a story with pictures and photos and a small narrative about what your child did, and then the teachers will give your child the opportunity to share that story with their classroom peers. This not only helps with presenting and getting up in front of people and talking at an early age, but it also speaks to our speaking and listening curriculum. And so a lot of great added benefits when you create stories on StoryPark as well. One gentle reminder, you can also invite your extended family members, and so they can see pictures and talk to your child about what they're learning at school as well. I'm now going to shift over to MyMV. This is a resource. Our hope is that it for you is a one-stop shop of all communication needs for the lower school, any information that you might need. So let me pop off again. You are going to go again to mvcds.org. MyMV is right up here in the top right-hand corner. We'll go back to the resource boards. Sorry about that. This time, you're going to click on the lower school resource board. Here is a whole bunch of how-to information for Story Park, how to add extra people, how to sort by date. Anything that you might need to know about Story Park would be right here. This is the Thursday newsletter that is pushed to your email. You can also view it here in an archive if you need to go back and find a communication. And emails that are not pushed out on Thursdays. Nurse Sherry just sent one about masks fitting appropriately. Those are going to go here under announcements. There's an archive of those emails as well. Here's lunch information, including the menu and the account procedures, calendar, MVPA, class list, supply list, extended time care information, a bunch of resources for parents. We'll get some photos up on here soon. Any information that you need regarding the lower school will be on this resource board. Okay. That's a little bit about our communication plan for the year. We are welcoming visitors to campus. We are encouraging them. We need to have a specific reason for their visit, right? And so in the mornings, we are doing just car line and dismissal. So it's not really an open door policy. It's more of an approved visitor policy. And these are the actions you would take if you would like to volunteer or visit. Notify the point of contact. So that could be your classroom teacher. It could be Emmy Green if you want to help in the resource center, like shelving books or anything like that. It could be me. If you come for an informational meeting, we'll ask you to fill out the visitor policy. The visitor form. So you notify the point of contact, and they're going to send you this visitor form. It is really symptom tracking, and we're also tracking the vaccination rate of our visitors. So you'll fill out that form. We ask you to please monitor for COVID symptoms in the morning. If you're not well, please reschedule your visit. We're asking all visitors to enter through door 1. This helps us to track who's in the building for emergency purposes and for contact tracing. So it is important that we get you checked in at door number 1, which is the door by the circle. It's in between the clock tower and the circle. We ask that you follow all of the same COVID protocols that our faculty, staff, and children are following. And we are strongly encouraging visitors to be vaccinated against COVID-19. As with all of our COVID-19 protocols and policies, we are reviewing them consistently to make sure that we are providing the safest learning environment possible for our students. So if there are any changes to the visitor policy, I will be communicating them as soon as they change. We do want visitors, though. We want visitors in the classroom for mystery readers. If you're an expert in the field that the students are learning about, we want you to come in and be a guest speaker. We can use help for recess time and recess monitors if that's your comfort. We really value the homeschool partnership and connection. So any way that you would like to partner with us and volunteer or visit, we are open to suggestions and ideas. And the homeroom teachers will be telling you a little bit more about volunteer opportunities for this school year. Finally, I just wanted to end on Forest School. Primary is continuing with the Forest School program this year on Fridays. They might change the day depending on the learning activity, but for the most part, we're counting on Forest School Fridays in the afternoon. And Forest School is at Mommy Valley. We have a Forest School inspired program. It's taking the traditional pedagogy out of Denmark and infusing it with our Mommy Valley curriculum. So the original pedagogy out of Denmark is a real hands-off approach where adults are actively observing and actively listening so that when needed, they're able to quickly jump in to facilitate either coaching a developmental risk that's happening or a peer conflict or solving a problem together. We want the children to have the first go at solving those problems and taking risks, but the adults need to be right there and ready to jump in when that happens. We also want them to be asking their own questions organically and having curiosities and seeing if they can answer each other's questions first before they come to an adult. So that's the traditional Forest School philosophy, and then we infuse our own Mommy Valley curriculum in there. And so 50% of our time is spent wandering, that traditional Forest School approach, and 50% of our time is very structured. And the structured part could be based on the wanderings of the week before. So let's say we find some bones in the forest, and now the teachers can implement math by measuring the bones, or science by cleaning the bones, or storytelling by what's going to happen, or even art and observation by sketching the bones. So it can be connected to the wandering, or it can be connected to our Maumee Valley curriculum. So this is an example of the Simple Machines unit from last year, where the students were learning about a wheel and axle. And so we are out in the forest with our gator and our maintenance team, and the students were having to move the gator with the emergency brake on, which this represented before we had wheels and axles. Before those simple machines, it was very hard to move things. They could not move the gator with the emergency brake on. And then when we took the emergency brake off, they were able to move the gator utilizing the wheel and axles. So that's an example of how we are specifically planning curriculum to be implemented in the forest that's not really connected to their wanderings. We are looking for forest school parent volunteers. Like I said, we're aiming for Friday afternoons. We are requiring parent volunteers to have a training, though, so that we have common language, common understandings. We can identify hazards versus developmentally appropriate risks and be on the same page with safety. So if you are interested in volunteering during forest school, please let your homeroom teacher know. And then I will follow up with a recording of the training that happened earlier this month and all of the resources. And I am happy to be out in the forest with you during your first time volunteering, or some of our more tenured forest school volunteers would be happy to join you as well. Finally, I just wanted to leave you with 2 resources. Our forest school program is based or rooted in a resource called the Coyote's Guide to Connecting with Nature. And in this guide, it's going to talk about the core routines that we utilize here at Maumee Valley with forest school. It's a big, monstrous book, but it will give you a lot of insight on how we are shaping our program. And then all faculty and staff at Maumee Valley this past summer break read a book called Better Than Carrots or Sticks, and it is referring to restorative practices for positive classroom management. So restorative practices is something you're going to be hearing more about this school year, and it is a behavior management approach that we are going to be implementing over the next 3 to 5 years. And so if you're curious on what that might look like, I would recommend this book. It's very easy reading, and it will give you some insight into how we are trying to prevent conflict and handle conflict when it does arise. This is my contact information. You can reach me by email at any time. That's my personal phone number, so you can call or text. Texting usually works a little bit better, but I'm happy to take phone calls. And I look forward to seeing you this Thursday, September 9th at 6 p.m. at our live back to school event. Have a great school year, and I'll see you later.
Good evening. My name is Jill Augustiniak. The students all call me Mrs. A. I am a member of the lower school and ELC student support team. I started my MV career in the lower intermediate, 3rd and 4th grade. I was there for 23 years, where I noticed that I had a special heart or love for students who learn differently. So I spent a lot of time, went back to school to get my special ed endorsement, as well as I earned my K through 12 intervention specialist degree. And now this is my 4th year in student support. I work with students and teachers from PK to 6th grade, providing intervention and enrichment strategies, as well as lessons. And I write and provide services to students on plans from kindergarten to 2nd grade. Besides helping with academics, I also help with executive functioning skills and the social emotional needs of our lower school students. My office has tools to help with sensory breaks or needs, calming, quiet spaces, and the students' energy station, where they can either build up their energy if they're feeling tired, or they can burn off some energy if they've been feeling like they've been sitting a while and need to wiggle. I'm excited to have everyone back on campus, and I'm looking forward to a fabulous 21-22 school year. Have a good evening.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Back to School Night. My name is Sarah Dowling, and I am the school psychologist and the director of student support services here at Maumee Valley. I have been with Maumee Valley for about 9 years now. In addition to working here, I also have 4 children who also attend here in the ELC and the lower school. I am on campus usually about 3 to 4 days a week. I do work in all 4 divisions, so you will see me in the ELC, the lower school, the middle school, and also the upper school. My office is located in the middle school, so if you are ever on campus and you need to locate me, you can find me in the middle school. Email is usually the quickest way to get a hold of me. I'm frequently on my email, and if you do send me a message, I will get back with you as soon as I'm able to. A little bit about my different roles. My role as the Director of Student Support is I really help coordinate services across the whole school. Being in all 4 divisions, I have the ability to follow our students from when they enter during the ELC or lower school years all the way through the upper school. So it's really nice to be able to follow their educational journey and make sure that different supports that students might benefit from continue as they move from division to division and from grade to grade. Our department also helps to develop and implement the Human Growth and Development program throughout the whole school. So we work with the teachers and the division heads to make sure that our students' social emotional learning is also being addressed within our classroom curriculum. And then my role as school psychologist, I work a lot of my time is spent with consulting with teachers, with the administration, parents, on different ways to identify specific needs that students might have and then come up with appropriate ways to support them within the classroom. A lot of times this happens through classroom observations. So a lot of times your students might see me in their classroom, just kind of seeing what they're doing, seeing how they're learning, and then I'll give the teachers some suggestions on different ways to help support students. And I also attend all of the student support meetings throughout all 4 divisions. So we typically have monthly student support meetings in each division, and that's our opportunity to talk about things that the teachers are noticing and come up with different helpful strategies to implement within the classroom setting. I work really closely with our learning specialists and intervention specialists here at school, which include Jill Augustiniak, Erin Oles, and Tara Morin. And then I also work in close collaboration with our school counselor, Rachel Spiegel. So we really work as a really close team and collaborate with each other on different ways to make sure that we're supporting students both academically and also social emotionally. And then in addition to a lot of the consultation role, I also write and develop all of the student education plans. So if a specific student has a diagnosed disability, which might require specific accommodations to be put in place, I would be responsible for developing, writing, that plan, and then making sure that the teachers know how to implement the supports that are recommended in the plan. Another thing that I can help with is one-on-one assessment. So at times we'll have students who we feel like we need to gather some additional information on. And during those times, I'll do some one-on-one assessment to kind of look at different skill sets and different ways that we might be able to support a student. The other thing that I do here at the school is help connect parents with outside referrals. So if there's ever a need for any additional support that we're not able to provide within the school setting and the school structure, then we can help connect parents with outside counselors, speech and language pathologists, occupational therapists, any other type of supports that might be helpful, looking at the whole child in ways that we can support your children here at school. So welcome to the school year. It's great to see everyone back and all the kids on campus. We're really looking forward to a great year this year. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Rachel Spiegel. I'm the school counselor here at Maumee Valley Country Day School. My primary responsibility is the social emotional well-being of all of our students here. I work with our preschoolers all the way through our 12th grade. I work with other members of the student support team to help make sure that our students' whole person well-being is addressed, which means that I help with preventive programming from our social emotional lessons and learning that our advisors and home-based teachers help deliver, as well as individual student supports, small group student programming, and working with our teaching teams and other members of the student support team to identify students who may need some extra support from me at any given time. I also provide resources to outside counselors and other community resources for our students and families. I have 4 students here of my own, 4 kids of my own here at Mommy Valley as well, so you might see me around with my parent hat on as well. And the thing I love the most about Mommy Valley and working here is that we're all a big team and a community that works together for the best of all of our students. So welcome back to school and have a great school year.
Hi, my name is Erin Oles, and I'm an intervention specialist here at Mommy Valley. I am part of the support team, and I work with some students who need some extra support. I do work in lower school, middle school, and the upper school. I work closely with our school psychologist, Sarah Dowling. I also work closely with Jill Augustiniak. She is our learning specialist for the ELC in the lower school, and with Tara Morin, who is our student support specialist for the middle school and the upper school, as well as working closely with teachers of students that I work with as well. And if you need anything, the best way to get a hold of me is via email. I do have an office that's located in the lower school, but many times I'm not in my office because I'm out working with students. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Sherry Watkins. I'm the school nurse here at Mommy Valley. I've been a registered nurse for 12 years, and I'm going on my 4th year here in the school. I'm here Monday through Friday throughout the day, and I'm here for all of your students throughout the school. Just want to touch on a couple things. The first thing I want to point you towards is your MyMV resource page. On there's a section that is health and medical forms. You will find all of the information that you need for this office here on that page. That includes any medication forms, any allergy action plan forms, illness policies, anything of that manner that you may need to get access to. I want to touch real quick on immunizations. We do have immunizations that are required to be turned in for all new students, as well as for students in kindergarten, 7th, and 12th grade. Please do get those to me as soon as possible if you have not done so. They are due on September 7th. Per the state of Ohio. If you have any questions, concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and we can discuss that and see what we need to do for your student. COVID vaccinations, if they have received their COVID vaccine, please send those to me as well. We are keeping a running tally for our total vaccination rates throughout the school, and they will come in handy if we come upon a situation where quarantine is necessary. If they have not received it yet, and they are in the process or just have not hit age yet, please do send those in to me when they are completed so we can add that in. I do want to discuss allergies, our school nurse algorithm. Illness policy is, again, very strict this year due to COVID. If you have not seen the school nurse algorithm, which here is a picture, please print that out, hang it up in your house so that you can refer to that as needed. It is on Mommy Valley's website, but if you're having a hard time finding it or just for your ease, don't hesitate to reach out to me and I will send a copy of that. That is created by the Lucas County Health Department, and it is what we follow in regards to COVID symptoms and the steps that you need to take if your child does become ill. It discusses what is considered low risk and high risk symptoms, what they are by their categories, and when COVID tests or isolation or just a return to school is required. Please, I ask you to pay close attention to your children as they're leaving for school and do not blow off symptoms, even though they may be minor. If they fall under COVID symptom categories, they do need to stay home until they are feeling better or as the process has been followed. If you have any questions about this whatsoever, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me at nurse@mvcds.org, or just go ahead and give me a call. And I will help you out with anything that you have questions over or concerns. Thanks a lot, and welcome to another year.
Hi, I'm Emily Green, and I'm the Pre-K through 12 Library Media Specialist. This is my 15th year at Maumee Valley. I previously taught English Language Arts and Social Studies in the middle school. So far this year, intermediate students have participated in a library orientation. Primary students have enjoyed story time and reviewed essentials of book care. Every month, please stay tuned for my Bookworm Bulletin for all things literary. You can find this bulletin included in the lower school newsletter. Also, I'm excited to announce the return of our fall on-campus book fair. This year's book fair is brought to you by Gathering Volumes and will take place from October 11th through October 14th. Finally, mark your calendars for our visiting author and illustrator, Lindsay Moore. She will meet with our students on October 12th to share from her picture book, Sea Bear. Happy reading!
Hi, my name is Jenica Fox, and I am the kindergarten through 6th grade music teacher, lower school choir teacher, and lower school string teacher here at Maumee Valley. So one big thing that's different this year in music than last year is that we are able to have concerts again. So look forward to a winter concert in December and also a springtime concert in May this year. So a little bit about our curriculum. In kindergarten music, students learn the foundational skills for all of music, and we do so by exploring movement and music, dancing and music, lots of listening to music, and musical games. These students will focus on steady beat, distinguishing voices by using a singing voice or a speaking voice, and also exploring some different rhythm instruments such as drums, woodblock, triangle, and rhythm sticks. In primary music, students begin to learn how to read music, read rhythms, and begin to learn how to read basic melodies. Primary students also explore how music is organized through the form of music, explore different rhythm instruments, and play melodic instruments like xylophone. In primary, in the second semester of 2nd grade, students also have the option to join our beginning string groups, so to learn how to play violin, viola, cello, or bass. In lower intermediate music, 3rd and 4th grade, students continue to challenge themselves by reading different rhythms and different melodies and begin to read notes in the treble clef staff. So how you might see music written if you're playing a violin or viola, or if you're playing a piano, or singing in a choir. Speaking of which, beginning in 3rd grade, choir is offered to our LI students starting this fall. So if you haven't signed up and you're still interested, contact me. All right, and finally, in upper intermediate music, 5th and 6th grade, students continue to learn more challenging melodic and rhythmic material. They explore instruments from different countries that are in line with their social studies units. And students work to play and sing independently so we can fit different musical parts together for a single piece of music with lots of rich textures. Something new in 5th and 6th grade this year is we are offering beginner string lessons again. So if your student is not already playing a string instrument and they're interested in starting, email me and I will get you the information you need. Finally, something that I want to talk about just briefly is our creative arts program at Maumee Valley. And that's offered ELC on through upper school, through the high school. And what the creative arts program is private lessons on strings, so violin, viola, cello, bass, and guitar, piano, and private voice lessons as well. And these are teachers that have been teaching at Maumee Valley for many years, and the lessons are taught right here on our campus. So if you are interested in private lessons for any of those instruments or voice, you can find the form on my MV, and it's under lessons, or you can email me and I will get you that information. So if you have any questions about anything music in kindergarten through 6th grade, email me. My email is jfox@mvcds.org. Thank you. I look forward to an awesome year.
Hi, I'm Luann Glover. I teach the kindergarten through 7th grade art program here at Maumee Valley. All the students will be looking at art, making art, and talking about art this year. We're going to develop methods and skills to better express and communicate our ideas. We will focus on design, line, shape, color, texture. Everyone will be working on a color and composition unit, as well as one about nature and art. Students will work in 2- and 3-dimensional art, including clay, printmaking, painting, drawing. Older students will concentrate on drawing and shading and perspective drawing as well. We're going to learn about art history and cultures, both past and contemporary artists, and art movements. For instance, grades 1 and 2 have already talked about Leah Anderson and Frank Stella. Grades 3 and 4 will talk about and explore artists in Toledo, past, present, and future, as well as abstract expressionism. 5 and 6 will learn about ancient cultures of the Americas, China, ancient cultures of India, and Egypt. Many of these topics are coordinated with their areas of study in their regular classroom. Kindergarten students will use literature and stories and personal experiences and their imagination to come up with ideas for their projects, as well as experimenting with materials. So experimentation and exploring how materials work is a very important part of art. We're very interested in the process of art, and these pieces will be sent home about once a month or so. I'll try to bundle them all together for you so they get home in one piece. Later on in the year, I hope to start up an art club, probably sometime second semester, and I hope sometime that the gallery will be open for your viewing. We'll do virtual shows until then. Looking forward to a great year. Take care. Bye.
Hello, Maumee Valley. My name is Terry Herman. I am the kindergarten and lower school physical education teacher here at Maumee Valley. Let me tell you a little bit about our physical education program. The students are very excited when they come in the gym. They are ready to go, ready to learn, and ready to be physically active. And so we start our day with fitness, of course, and we're always constantly trying to improve our fitness. And so through grades 3 through 6, fill out a fitness log, an individual fitness log. And on that fitness log, they record how many crunches they do in 45 seconds, how many push-ups they do, and then how many seconds they can either hold a high plank, a low plank, or a side plank. And after 5 classes, we look at all of our data and we set goals to constantly try to improve our fitness. And we do that every 5 classes. So when our fitness logs are complete, we put those away. The students line up on the side of the gym and we do our dynamic stretches. And immediately following our dynamic stretches, we are on to our lesson of the day. Our lesson is really focused on taking the kids' skill level right where they are and constantly trying to improve a little each day. In addition to improving our skills, I want the students to improve their knowledge of the game and the strategies that go into each game. And then, of course, we finish the day with some type of either lead-up game or real game experience, so they can take those skills, that knowledge, those strategies, and apply them in a real game situation. The units throughout the school year vary by division, but our emphasis is always on trying to get the kids to be just great kids, being kind, caring, supportive, and really great sports. Also to improve their knowledge and their skill level, and of course improve their knowledge and understanding of how important it is to be physically fit and physically active for their whole lifetime. So I'm excited that your son or daughter is in the class, and I am hoping that we will grow and experience great fitness and great games and skills throughout the whole year. So if you ever have any questions, please feel free to call me or send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. And I encourage to have your kids be active on weekends and after school as much as possible. So thank you very much, and I look forward to teaching your children. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Spiritu. I am the educational technologist and the technology teacher, grades 1 through 6 here at Mommy Valley. I have my contact information here on the slide if you have any questions, but today I just wanted to do a general overview about our technology classes here in the lower school and some of the really great things our students can look forward to this year. As an overview, our technology classes are taught from grades 1 through 6, and we do give students an access to a variety of technology and online resources. That way, when students leave our lower school, they have a general skill set and a variety of technology, including tablets, Chromebooks, laptops, desktop computers, and that ranges from robotics and then also a variety of software and programs. So we give them lots of information for Google Suites, and then we also introduce them to other forms of multimedia, including video making, podcasting, and really great things like that. The main goals for our students is that we really want them to become really great digital citizens, making sure that they are practicing safe, positive, and legal and ethical behavior while they are online. We have a focus with equity and diversity, which means we want them to use these digital tools to connect with learners of different backgrounds and cultures and really engage with them in order to broaden some really good mutual understanding and learning. We want to encourage students to build on their resilience and their perseverance when facing open-ended problems and engage with numerous forms of problem solving while using digital tools. We also want to use these tools for communicating ideas and thoughts in a variety of ways, in ways that really connect with that learner individually. So that one student may choose that they really love podcasting. Some may decide that they want to do video making. Some may like the traditional slideshow. We really want to engage with each learner where they're at and see how they can use digital tools in order to express themselves and who they are and their own thoughts. We also want to engage with a lot of critical thinking and evaluating sources, especially with nowadays when there's so much out online. We really want students to be able to leave here and feel empowered to know what to look for, how to look for it, and is this a really safe source, and can I trust this? One of the things that I really do love about our curriculum here with technology is that we have the same units, but they grow and expand with our students. So while we may teach the same thing, this unit may be smaller or larger depending on that age group and meets their individual needs. So we really want to meet our students where they are at while also pushing them and helping them grow as they move through the lower school. So some of our units include, we do a basic intro to technology, how does a computer work, the computer parts, logins, accounts. As we move up, this unit grows smaller and smaller, but it always serves as a nice fresh reminder for our students, especially if someone is new and incoming. Then we jump right into digital citizenship. We want students we are currently doing this in the most of our units as of right now. We are working on how we can find balance with our lives with media, how we can make sure that we are being safe and positive and that we are feeling safe while using online resources. And then we go into word processing. This isn't just the traditional keyboarding, but also how do we utilize Google Docs and Microsoft Word? How do we format documents? How can we create things like cover letters and resumes, things like that? Different things that will help them later on down the world as they're using word processing skills. We continue with research skills. This includes how to find reliable sources online, where to find information, and different ways that we can engage with things like that. And that feeds into our presentations and multimedia unit. So students will research something and find ways to present the information that they want to share. And this is, again, where we meet the student where they're at. This could be a variety. If someone likes podcasting or slideshows or video making or coding something or designing a website, I really want to open-end it as much as possible so that students can engage with a variety of different multimedia forms. Then we can continue on with a coding and robotics unit. So we will do our traditional coding, moving into eventually, slowly but surely, trying to find our way to understand language coding. And finally, our last unit is one that I am very excited for. It is our design process unit, where we want students to engage in how we can use technology and different things to solve problems within the world. And this is where students can pick a problem that is either close to home or something that they find very important, and they will design and create and think of a way that they might be able to help this problem or help solve it. So this is just an overview of our curriculum units. Again, I do have my contact information if you have any questions or if you have any concerns. But other than that, I hope you have a fantastic back to school night. Bye.
Hola, hello. My name is Kathleen Mick, and the kids call me Senora Mick. I'm excited to start another year of Spanish here at the Early Learning Center and Lower School. Just to give you a brief rundown, our class schedule, students in pre-kindergarten and junior kindergarten will have Spanish in their classroom once a week, and then also have a Spanish lesson in the school once a week. Kindergartners have Spanish 5 times in a row. We'll then go to a different special the next week, and then come back to Spanish for another 5 times. So basically, it's Spanish every other week. Students in grades 1 through 4 have Spanish every other day for 30 minutes. This is our pre-COVID schedule, which actually works a lot better for their learning needs. And just to give you an idea, students in 5th and 6th grade have Spanish every day. We are back in our classroom this year, okay? Here are some themes that we cover throughout the Early Learning Center and Lower School. Students talk about themselves and others. We go over courtesy and greetings, get to know you, conversational questions. Some topics include school, home, family, food and meals and activities. We also cover some cultural topics, just so that the students not only learn the language, but about the people who speak the language. And here are some basics that just gotta have to memorize that we go over. That's numbers, alphabet, calendar, telling time, weather. A special welcome to our new families at Maumee Valley. Look forward to getting to know your child this year. And I just want to reassure them they'll be just fine. It's typical for new students, for students new to the language, to feel apprehensive, that they don't know what's going on, that everybody else doesn't know what's going on. But it'll be okay. And I have modified assessments for them. And 3 things I do expect from them is that they try their best. Look for clues from their friends and from me. I'll help them with that. And then ask me for help when they need it. I believe one of the hallmarks that we have in our program at Maumee Valley is the extensions that we make beyond the classroom, because it doesn't make sense just to learn a language. Our goal is to use it. So we have some connections with the community beyond the classroom that we have, including our Guatemalan Pen Pal connection. This is for students in grades 2 through 5, and we work through the program SOHO. Here's a picture of our last year's 3rd graders receiving their mail from Guatemala. Real excited about that. 2nd graders will be going to the Belief Center to learn about the Mexican folkloric dance and the origin of the dance and the cultural traditions tied to it. Also taking part in a Zumba lesson themselves. 3rd graders will be going to visit the local Spanish radio station, 96.5. The station manager there is also a community leader who will explain some projects going on so that the kids can learn about how a language is maintained and the cultural needs, and as far as trying to preserve the important aspects of a culture. And then 4th graders will be going to visit FLOP, which is the Farm Labor Organizing Committee. and meet with Mr. Velasquez, who himself was a farm laborer and works to this day to support the needs of the farm laborers. And the connection here with the curriculum is that students in the 3rd and 4th grade kind of have a major food unit that we cover. And so it's not only important that they learn, what the foods are in Spanish, but also just some connections. How does the food get here? Where does the food come from? Who helps produce it? Parent-teacher communication. So Early Learning Center students, their families, and the first and second graders will receive some announcements and news through Story Park. There is also some primary information on my MB, and I'll post news and announcements for LI on my MB as well. Any work that needs to go home, any papers like for the field trips that need to be signed, I will send to the students for any folders. Don't hesitate to email if you have any questions or comments, or give me a call. And I look forward to another great year of Spanish. Gracias. Adios.